Hello everyone, my name is Prima, and welcome back to this mini-series, where I explain evolutionary terms through the world of Pokemon. So far I've covered convergent evolution, divergent evolution, and finally ecological niches. So if you haven't checked it out yet, what are you doing? Go check them out, they're great. And today we're going to be focusing on a particular type of evolution that is just really cool, strange, and unique in all types of ways. This is a type of evolution where species become isolated on an island and therefore develop a lot of weird features that you normally don't see them having on the mainland. This type of evolution is often simply referred to as island evolution, but I guess if you want to sound like an even bigger nerd, you could go with the more sciencey name, which is Foster's Rule. This is because they no longer have to compete with other species as much as they do on the mainland, and therefore these animals can evolve more unique features that they normally would never do. A lot of regional forms are pretty much the biggest example of this, since Alola is just a bunch of separated islands, and Galar, well, it seems pretty separated from the rest. Plus, it's primarily based on Great Britain, which is also pretty much far away from it all. And where these regional forms appear also makes a lot of sense, since a lot of them appear in very specific areas that are suited for their specific needs. In regards to Galar, however, you might say that that's not true, because a lot of them can still be found in the wild area and in max raid battles. But who's to say that the wild area is really that wild? I mean, the wild area is basically surrounded by cities, and Galar is a very technologically advanced region. So to me it makes sense that it's more like a wildlife preserve if anything. It just seems too blocked off to be considered natural to me. And when you look at the Isle of Armor, it looks much more natural, rather than Galar, which looks like they just put nature inside of a city, if that makes any sense, rather than the Isle, where they build around nature. I don't know, it makes sense in my head, I don't know if it comes out right. Let's actually cover these island evolution examples though, and the Alolan Ninetails line is one extreme example. It's the complete opposite of the other form, literally comparing fire to ice. It was just better for these Pokemon to adapt to their new environment. Now, that might sound confusing because surely a fire type is better when it comes to surviving the cold, right? I can imagine that fire types need to eat a lot to keep their fire burning, as their fire sac, or whatever they have that produces fire, well, it probably isn't very cheap energy-wise, but it's great for offense and defense. So if you're in a colder environment, you'd likely have a harder time finding food too. So having that energy-sucking organ, or whatever it is in your body, that's giving you the fire type, well, it's not helpful anymore, and it'd be better to just change. And on top of that, melting everything you come into contact with, yeah, that probably wouldn't help. The Alolan Sandslash line is also ice type for a good reason, since the ground type wouldn't be good at all, because ice, well, it's frozen water, and on top of that, ground is weak to it as well. And the Sandslash line is known to hate water, and if it's around that frozen water all the time, it's better to just, again, adapt to your surroundings. The fairy typing for the Ninetales line probably emerged because it's a magical Pokemon, and because, well, the fairy type is pretty much magic. It makes sense that it would now awaken its magical properties more due to the harsh environment. It can't just rely on one typing anymore. And the reason why the Sandslash line obtained the Steel typing is, well, it's known to be a hard, tough Pokemon with its armor. So the reason why it obtained Steel typing is also just to cope with the new harsh environment. Gotta have good armor. It's not a coincidence that both of these lines have complicated relationship with water, and them being forced to live in these cold mountains mean that they couldn't go anywhere else, and had to carve out their own niche in this frigid place. I also think it's possible that specifically these two lines of Pokemon may have also needed to slow down their metabolism over the generations. The Alolan Golem line is also a great example, because its diet has now changed to eating graphite instead of mossy rocks. These Pokemon live primarily in Route 12 of Alola and Blush Mountain, which don't seem to be anywhere close where mossy rocks could possibly be found. Although Alolan Graveler in particular is also found in Route 17, which does seem like a place where there might be a lot of mossy rocks, or at least some of them, so maybe those are gonna re-evolve back? Who knows? So these Pokemon started eating a new source of food, only available on a specific part of this island, found in no other region, and slowly adapted and evolved over time. That's pretty cool. Their electric type likely comes from the fact that their environment is some type of special magnetic field. These are places where Magneton, Charjabug, and Nosepass can evolve as well. Although fields like this are found in other regions where the Golem line appears as well, the Dravite is really only found in Alola, it seems. But But enough about Alola. Galar also has a lot of interesting examples of island evolution, especially Galarian evolutions, which are like one of my favorite things ever, where they unlock new evolutionary potential and evolve in even more interesting ways. Obstagoon is an amazing example. Linoon in other regions don't evolve, but in Galar they do, because of the high level of competition they're now faced with. Their survival genes kick in, and for once they actually start competing with others as well. I mean, that is just so dope. It was faced with a unique situation that was only possible on the island of Galar, and therefore it adapted. Ah, God, Obstagoon is so cool. The Dark type was likely a result of the often unique ways of fighting that Dark types are known for. More dirty fighting instead of fair, and I can definitely see this being helpful when you're under a lot of pressure. Alolan Farfetchd is similar in a way. Because of the Galar region's different leaks, it can now partake in more heavy battles, and is capable of evolving further into Surfetchd, which was needed for, God, so many years. Its fighting type likely happened because it didn't need to fly anymore with a new, more powerful leak. So instead of flying away, it can defend itself now. Of course, there's also just the Galarian forms, like the Rapidash line, who adapted to the unique environment of Glimwood Tangle, and have given up on their fiery nature to become more in tune with the magical properties of the forest. Another Pokemon that has evolved because its diet changed is Galarian Slowpoke, who eat the seeds of plants only found in the Isle of Armor, resulting in their loss of the water type since they no longer need to fish for food, and became pretty much herbivorous. Since these plants are known to be spicy, and well, spicy is kind of supposed to be poisonous, we just for some reason like the taste, yeah, it became a poison type because of that. Ooh, and Glorian Stunfist is a great one too. The high iron content in the mud of Galar made it stronger, and basically turned it into a bear trap, resulting in the steel type and making it a really cool ambush predator. Point is, island evolution is just super cool. It can do so many unique things to a creature that you'd probably never even think of. And while yes, I could list every single regional form and tell you about it, but I think I've pretty much said all I needed to say. I just really hope that Game Freak will continue this feature because, it's just so cool. Although, if they make it into a region that's not based on an island or doesn't seem like an island, then, well, this video is useless. But hey, still dope. And if I were to compare the Alolan forms to the Galarian forms, I'd say that Alola probably wins. I mean, Galarian forms are still good, but I feel like they're not as properly explained as the Alolan ones. Just look at Mr. Mime. It becomes an ice type because it enjoys tap dancing? Alola was their first go at making regional forms, so it may have just been possible that they put more work into it. Or maybe I'm just biased because I prefer Alola. But anyway, that was the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Plus, the YouTube algorithm and me really likes that. Subscribe if you want more content like this, hit that little bell, and be sure to like the video. You know how it goes. I also have a Patreon, in case you're interested in helping this channel a little bit more. It's only $1 a month, and you get some pretty cool small perks. But with that being said, I hope you all have a good day, night, or morning, and as always, take care.